Welcome to episode 400 of In Touch with iOS, the show that talks about the podcast that keeps you connected to the ever-changing Apple ecosystem. I'm your host, Dave Ginsburg. Each week we break down the latest news, updates, tips, hidden features across iPhone, iPad, Apple Watch, Mac, Vision Pro, and Apple TV, with all the insights from our friends, experts from the Apple community. Because here we read the release notes so you don't have to. So let's see who's here this week. Hi, everybody. This is episode 400. I'm excited. We're celebrating 400 episodes of In Touch with iOS. I can't believe it, but I have all my great friends here. I really appreciate you being here this week. First off, we're going to go to Jill McKinley. How you doing, Jill? Thanks for being here.
Oh, well, good gravy. I'm glad this week is nearly over with, and it's great to be here, and congratulations on 400 episodes.
Yeah, thanks so much. And the cause of this is Chuck Joyner. Hi, Chuck. How you doing?
Well, I'm good, Dave. Episode 400. Congratulations. Will there be cake later?
There might be.
The cake is a lie.
The cake is a lie.
The second cause of this is Mike Potter. How you doing, Mike?
Hey, Dave. How you doing?
I'm doing great. So
congratulations. 400 episodes.
Yes. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. But we'll get into all that in just a bit here. Also here is Marty Jencius. Thanks for being here, Marty. And being part of this
I wouldn't want to be any other place. Congratulations on 400 episodes. This is really, your show has really made a mark on folks. And I appreciate being part of it.
Oh, I appreciate you being part of it. Thank you. As well as Eric Bolden. Thank you for being here. It's come celebrate with us this week. How you doing?
It's a great evening to be here inside where it's warm.
Yes,
people to talk to. It's perfect.
All right. I was trying to see which bird you had behind you there.
Young bald eagle today.
Oh, wait. I guess we could look this way.
That's a receding hairline eagle.
Yes. Hasn't gone bald yet, but getting there.
That's a good code.
So minoxidil eagle.
Mike. And Jeff Gamet, I'm so glad you're here, and you've been part of many episodes of until we made to 400. I appreciate you being here. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm happy to be here. Congratulations, Dave.
Yeah,
and I have to call out what you said earlier about Chuck and Mike being responsible for this. No, you're responsible because you pull it together and make it happen. They're just enablers.
That's right. Okay. Well, they were enablers. So.
Yeah. As long as you're buying, everybody will show up.
Into this,
right?
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Last but certainly not least, I'm so glad he's here. Guy Serle. How you doing, Guy?
I'm doing well. I'm just happy that you called me a friend. I can always use friends.
You are a friend. So thanks for everybody being here this week. I'm super stoked, excited to go through. We're going to talk a little bit of history of what happened on this show for this past 400 episodes. I'm not going through all of them, of course, but what I decided to do to be just notable, I wanted to note out to all the episodes that all my wonderful esteemed panelists have been on as their first episode here on the show. So we're gonna kind of go through that, and then plus we got some great news and a lot of other great things that have come out this week. But we're gonna go through it, and I've had my crack team here put together the list and research which episode you were on, and we've got it in the show notes, so it's kind of fun. This guy thought this would be kind of fun, and then I'm also going to mention which version of iOS was out for that time we had the episode. So Guy, you are the winner. You were on episode 9, and I don't know if you remember that, but that was only the 9. After 9 episodes, I was still hosting with Melissa, and you came in and filled in, and the first thing you talked about, of course, was microphones.
Shocker.
And I let it go. And what a surprise! And I did let it go because I didn't know any better. But as you notice, the title of the episode was "Podcasting in iOS," and it was more podcasting than iOS a little bit as I went back and listened a little bit here. So
I appreciate it.
We had a blast.
I'm thrilled and honored.
You'll have to go back and listen probably just to remember what we talked about. And it was back to the time when we were still doing Mac to the Future, and I was involved with that.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I've been there for a long time.
That show.
Yeah, we did Mac to the Future Go, and that was a lot of fun. So, and then the version of iOS that was out during that time, this was a July 9th, 2017. It was iOS 10.
Ooh.
So that's it. So the next one that's up, he's the second oldest episode. That was Mike Potter. I remember this very vividly. We had a blast doing this episode. This is when we went with the suburban Chicago Apple users, our RIP with that group, but got to spend some time at the Michigan Avenue Apple store, and I was, we had a blast there. We had I think they gave us like 3 hours of their attention. We were able to sit into those sessions back in those days, and then we got to sit on the riverfront, right down the steps from the store, and we recorded a live episode, and it was like the most fun I've ever had with this show, and I think I noted as one of my more favorite ones. Don't you think, Mike?
Not only one episode, Dave, we recorded 2 episodes. We're sitting out there on the banks of the Chicago River with my Zoom H6. I can't remember what audio recorder you had.
I had my Zoom H6 as well.
People booking past us on their bikes and jogging past and all that, but we're like, whatever. We're just going to record a show. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. So as I eased into the shows, then I came to episode 35, and that was the very first time that Chuck Joyner, my good friend, and you're all my good friends, but Chuck was kind of the mentor and kind of eased me into becoming a podcaster when I was on stage at MacStock, the very first MacStock, and and I said I was absolutely thrilled. I went back and listened to the beginning of the show, and I said, and I said, and I even said that you inspired me to do this on the show, but we had some fun. We talked about we both had just gotten our 10s and 10s Max. I think you went with the 10s. I went with the 10s Max, and then you made fun of me about the fact that remember I bought the iPhone 8, and then I said, no, I'm not going to upgrade. But then I went to the 10 anyway.
Yeah, I remember our conversation very well about you starting something, and it's like, Dave, why not? What's the worst that can happen? And 400 episodes later, what the worst that can happen is, because here we are.
Hold my beer. What am I doing next Tuesday? I vividly always had that in my mind when you said that to me on stage. So and then I got to be on your show for the first time, and then the rest of it's history. And you've just been you've been a pretty big inspiration. You've been doing podcasting, and many of you here have been doing podcasting for a long time. So I remember that, and that was August 11th, 2018, and we were running iOS 12 on that day, going back that history. So. One thing I wanted to notate, I'm even talking about myself here. This was the one and only time I ever did this show by myself, and I said I would never do it again because I was listening. And I think what inspired me to do it is because I had Adam Christensen on the show, and he's done, he did the MacCast by himself always, basically. Mm-hmm. And he happened to have me on his show once right after that, and then I guess that was kind of unheard of that he had someone on the MacCast, and I was. So I guess I should be kind of honored he did that. So, so I decided to do the show myself, and I listened back, and I'm like, yeah, I'm glad I never did that again because I love to have all you guys here with me. So that was on episode 68, and I did that on September 12th, 2019, and that was when iOS 13 was out for the iPhone at that time. So, and then move on to the wonderful Jeff Gamet. He was on episode 107, and that was with Warren. We had at that time, and it was an absolute thrill to have you on. As I kept meaning to get you on the show, we met for the first time at MacStock, and that was on July 14th, 2020. So that was during the pandemic. So we met in 2019, and so it was a wonderful time at that time, and we talked about fun things, and you always make me laugh, and you're just great with everything, and it was a fun show. But that was episode 107, and you've been on many, many of them ever since. I mean, I had you on the first time, then we skipped a week or two, and then you kind of liked me a little bit, I guess, and I kind of want to ask, hey, you want to come on as a regular contributor? I would love to have you, and then you kind of did it, and then we are now. You've been on
Dave, you're pretty okay. And
yeah, I think so.
You're awesome, and of course, I was happy to come on the show and had a great time, and I still am. And clearly, you're a glutton for punishment.
Yeah. So, so that was again July 14th, 2020. iOS 13 was out during that time. So then, Jill McKinley, I got to meet you for the first time at MacStock, and I believe it was that same year in 2023. That was July 30th, 2023. I had you on for the first time, and we I cut the cord, and we talked about you being an Apple convert. You converted, so. And we had Chuck was on with you as well. Ben was on as well, and I think that was a fun show, and you were really great. I kept having you on, and then we finally, I think I think we did it this year, not this year, last year. You're a regular contributor, and I love having you on every week, and you're so wonderful for doing that. So we had a lot of fun that day, and then that was again July 30th, 2023, and that iOS 16 was out during that time. So I'm assuming you remember that.
Oh, of course. Actually, I went to MacStock and I listened to most of all of you on podcasts. And so I walked around going, all right, who are these people? Oh, that's Chuck. I recognize his voice. Oh, that's that's Dave. I recognize his voice.
Yeah. So that was a great time. And then Marty Jencius, I'm so thrilled that we became really good, fast friends. I met you for the first time in 2023 at MacStock, and I had you on for the very first time. This was episode 264, and Jill was on with us as well as Chuck and Ben. And I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong one there. I had Jeff on there with Ben and you, Marty, and we were. The title was "No New iPads for You" and MacStock 8. So he had just we were getting ready for MacStock for 2024, and we had a great time with that episode, and you were just so amazing. And then I had a bunch of other times, and then you decided to become a regular, which I'm so grateful for as well.
Yeah, Thursday nights is peyote night in our household, so you're going to have to remind me what I say on these shows. So I'm glad you gave me a little bit of rundown.
Yeah, you of course you had influenced me to buy it. I mean, not that I already wasn't the person that was buying everything in technology. You look around with me right now and what I have around me, and then you really twisted my arm because you started talking about the Vision Pro, and you started up the Vision Pro Files podcast. Did you do it in 2024? I believe you did, right?
Yeah, we're in our 80th show now. So
yeah, so you started right when you had bought it when it came out. I think I bought it maybe about 4 months later after you did, 4 or 5 months.
Yeah, I think I met Eric on Chuck's show and found out that he had one, and then we decided to do the podcast together.
So
you joined, of course. Yeah,
I joined, and I think it was the best thing I ever did because you are just amazing to work with, and you're just like a podcasting machine. How many shows you have now? But it's been just wonderful. I'm so glad you're part of this show as well. Last, not certainly not least, but Eric, you were the newbie, and I just looked back to when you joined. It's only been this year since you joined, so it was episode 298, and I'm sorry, 353 is the episode that you were on, And I already put your name in the title because you had the hawk picture behind you, and talked about your Vision Pro and adventures, and we had a real good time with that episode, and that was April 4th of this year, 2025. So of course iOS 18 was out during that year, so I'm sure you remember that. And that was a lot of fun too. So I'm so glad you're a part of it and become a regular of this show as well. So appreciate all of you being here. Then I know this is such a big crew here. I think this is the biggest I've had using Ecamm. So I got 8 people. I'm trying, like Mike was like, "Wow, you got 8 people sitting on a screen here on using Ecamm here," and I did it. So I guess I'm doing okay. So I thought it was a good way to kind of go down memory lane. The show's been awesome. We're going to keep going. I want to keep as I work through my potential retirement over the next few years. Who knows? We'll never know what happens. But I'm going to continue to do this. I love Apple. We all do here. We're very passionate about it, and it's going to just continue to be fun. And it's always fun to have all you with me. So I appreciate it. So let's go on back.
Retirement, Dave.
I'm sure I will because I've talked a lot. To go here. So, just I guess I look at some people in the chat here. We got Boy Bixby saying, "I'm not 400 yet," and Brian said, "Good evening, everyone. Happy 400." And Go To Fair. I'm not sure who that is, but I appreciate it. Says 400, and Wither Bucket says, "Sometimes I feel like 400." So I think we all do. So, all right. So let's go on and get on to the show this week with the normal things we talk about. Not a little bit. We'll start with Vision Pro this week. I didn't want to talk too much about it this week, other than the fact that I wanted to mention that all the releases came out this past week. So starting with visionOS 26.2, we had the travel mode updates was the biggest thing that was added to it. What that is it's going to have a mode when you're in a car or a bus or a train, and with spatial accessories, including other features that fixed some bugs and security updates and such like that. But I think the thing that was stand out the biggest was the travel mode. And I know, Eric, you were attempting to do that. I don't know if you've had any success yet, but you're still working on that, I assume.
Still working on it. I've got a couple of trips planned. So I'm going to get in a car and a train. No planes. Can't do planes yet. Virtually, yes, but not in real life. But I might go to the airport. I figure that'll be close. Maybe walk up and down.
All right. And Marty, did you have anything that stands out for you on this 26.2?
I haven't.
You're already on beta, of course.
Yeah, I'm already on the beta, but since Eric is testing it, I thought what I do, and my wife is going to push me around the house in my computer chair to simulate travel.
So it's true. Peyote night really is a blast at your place.
Peyote Airlines.
Oh my gosh!
You're high before you're off the ground.
Big one.
It's news with Vision Pro has been kind of quiet lately, so there wasn't too much really to talk about. We've been coming up with some really great topics on the Vision Profiles, but I just thought I'd keep it short and sweet this week since we got that going here. So, but let's go on to beta this week. Apple did release iOS 26.3 beta 1 this week, and here is the information here, and it was for testing, and there really isn't known much yet what 26.3 has added. There are some bug fixes for sure, because 26.2 was a big update because it had a lot of security updates. Marty, have you noticed anything when you updated to 26.3? Are you muted?
Oh, he is muted.
Yeah, you're unmuted, Marty.
No, I haven't noticed anything. It's just yesterday I was able to start going through the machines and going through the iPads to do the upgrade. So I haven't had much chance to play with it.
Okay. So here is some of the things that we found so far. The transfer to Android. I have an interesting story about that in a minute, but that's one of the things that they've now made it simpler to do the transition between Android and if anyone's switching from an Android to an iPhone. When you have the two phones connected, you can opt to have the move over photos, messages, notes, apps, passwords, and phone numbers and more. The data transfer occurs with no need to download and use a separate app. Help data is a device is paired, so it brings over the apps. My story here with this is I did it with an iPad. I wanted to test it. I have a Pixel 10, so I wanted to say, I was looking at it, I want to try this because I just set back up this old iPad I had, the 2018 iPad, and boy, I was thoroughly impressed. It actually brought over all the apps. It has of all the apps that it has available from Android to iOS, and brought them all over. You had to go through and download them because it just brought them over, but didn't install them. It just put them as a placeholder. You know how when you have apps that are that they haven't been used for quite a while and they just offload. That's what it did. So you had to go through and download a lot of those apps that way. But I was surprisingly enough, it was pretty seamless. I was pretty impressed with that. So that actually worked out pretty good. So it was kind of fun.
Another thing I noticed today, because I forward a line from one phone to another, what came up was, do you want to forward your phone to an Android phone? Or do you want to change this line to an Android phone? So I had never seen that in the menu before as an option. And I forward my phone number back and forth quite a bit, but this was on the new beta, I guess.
Yeah. 26.3 has got even more that I think you can go you can go vice versa with them both, and almost like we just like what we discovered with we discovered that the way it could do AirDrop between Android and iPhone. I tried it, and AirDrop does work pretty well. So I know these are old days for you, Mike, because you had an Android years ago, and you've been on an iPhone for quite a long time, right?
Yeah, for a while. Yeah, I've been on the iPhone for a while. I was super glad to hear that Google and Apple are working together to make this process relatively seamless, no matter which direction you're going. Now, because people tend to hang on to their Android phones for quite a long period of time, I've always run into trouble with the transfer app because the old Android phones just didn't want to transfer reliably. So I would always fall back on the old manual methods. But this will be nice. This will be a great addition to it.
Yeah. So let's go back here. Excuse me. The notification forwarding. You now can do notification forwarding. That's the settings of allowing incoming notifications on an iPhone to be forwarded to a third-party wearable device like an Android smartwatch. Excuse me. The settings are located in the notification section of the settings app under the new notification forwarding option. Apple says that the notification can only be forwarded to a single device at a time. So if notification forwarding is enabled with a third-party wearable, the Apple Watch won't be able to receive any of those notifications. So it's got a lot of stuff here. Now they got weather wallpaper. People are going to get excited about that with the wallpaper here. And more features will be coming. They'll be talking about this. So I would say it's probably going to be a good month, maybe two, before we're ready to get that released. When it comes to that, so that is that. Also, what was released? We had the watchOS, tvOS, and of course, we talked about visionOS, and those are out as well. And as always, you don't know a darn thing of what they released, and there wasn't anything too overly exciting with the tvOS. So that has come out. So that is that. And let's go on and talk a little bit about iOS 26.2. So now 26.2 did get released to the public this past week. And boy, there was a lot of activity about that. The biggest thing was a lot of bug fixes. So this is the iPad. So the iPad OS had some multitasking gestures that are now quick to tile windows or place an app and slide over by dragging icons from the dock. Apple Music updates, podcasting, games, and they did some enhancements. They did enhance. Now you can do the stage manager and the multi-screen, as they kind of removed that from the previous version. So that was that. So that was with the iPad. Anybody notice? Jeff, did you notice anything with the update on the iPad for you?
Everything still seems as it was, which is fine, except that my iPad has been like herky jerky with animations. Like when you tap on an app icon and then the app kind of zooms in to view, that's kind of choppy right now. Now, to be clear, we're talking about beta software, and so Apple may very well be doing other testing with video stuff, and so it's slowing down the redraws. Or it's beta. Maybe there's a regressive bug that showed up, and it'll be gone before it comes out. But that's the only noticeable thing for me right now.
Okay. Chuck, have you noticed anything? Did you update iOS 26.2? No, not beta.
I did on my iPhone and iPad. I did not on the Mac. My Mac is frozen now until, figuratively speaking, until after CES. But I really didn't notice anything so far, anyway. But I've had limited engagement with it since I did the upgrade. But I guess the good news is I haven't noticed anything.
That is good. How about anybody else? Eric, did you notice anything that you liked on iOS 26.2?
I had been having some problems where I was forced to reboot multiple times throughout the week to keep my device stable. And I haven't had to reboot multiple times in a week. I'm still not sure I can get through the entire week, so I might have some other piece of software, but it has been much smoother for me.
Oh, good. That's good to hear. How about you, Guy? Any issues with your updates this week?
Not with the phone, but I've had similar issues with jerky graphics on my iPad Pro, and it's an M1 iPad Pro, so it is an older one. That could certainly have something to do with it. I haven't put 26.3, that beta, on it yet, but what I found was the more that I used 26.2 iPad OS, the less problems I was having. So I don't know if it was like breaking itself in or who knows. At some point you just got to kind of question reality, and it's like, well, I saw this happen before. Well, you can't duplicate it, but it happened, and they don't believe me. So peyote.
Yep.
Hey, Dave.
Yeah, go ahead.
Since I have complained so much about problems with macOS 26, I should call out a couple things that I've noticed for that with the 26.2 update. So let me know when you're ready for that.
Yeah, we're going to get to Mac here in just a second.
Okay.
Just a couple. Jill, I just want to make sure I hit you and of anything you noticed with the iOS.
No, but I've been having troubles with, and I think I talked about this, where gestures from games that put buttons in the wrong place have shrunk my windows. And so suddenly I was in full screen and now I'm in some configuration square and I didn't mean to do it. And that seems to have gone away in this beta. And I don't know. It could be the game. It could be, it's a couple, different applications I try, but it could be that it's just doing multi-screen better for iOS.
Okay, great. I do want to mention that I highly recommend everybody to run updates to 26.2 on all the devices, because there were a lot of security vulnerabilities and and it fixed almost like 20 bugs and vulnerabilities. I'm not going to go through all this, but there's just ways people can get in. These guys can get in and cause a lot of problems. So very important that you go out there and run that update now, because if you're still running 26.1, you really need to run that update. There was another bug here that was found that it's turning on automatic updates for some users. That kind of concerns me, because I want to have control of what when I want the updates to run. I know, Chuck, you do, and a lot of others. So you make sure you check the software update section and be sure to see that that it is turned off if you don't want it to be turned on, because that's really important to do that. So that was kind of a bug that was found here, and then there's a ton of new features in 26.2, actually. And we've talked about them before as you've been going here. So you got there's now alarms for reminders. You can add an alarm on a reminder now. So if you want the alarm to go off, you can do that. And the lock screen has got some liquid glass sliders now. I know everybody's not a huge fan of the liquid sliders, but you've got that available. And the liquid glass settings, you now can make it a more of a tinted option to reduce the transparency, because some people just don't like that transparency of the way the liquid glass makes the screen look. AirDrop is now has increased the security in AirDrop. You now have an extra layer of verification using AirDrop with unknown contacts, so you can manage now known AirDrop contacts right into here, and there is also an option to generate an AirDrop code on the receiver's device that it can be entered on the sender's device to complete the transfer. And the codes allow AirDrop to work for a 30-day period, which is nice, especially if you don't. But if you have somebody that's 30 days, I don't know why you would not just have them in your trusted contacts. But Apple Music got some updates for offline lyrics, and when you're not connected to Wi-Fi or cellular, favorite songs and playlists show up in the top picks, and Sleep Score was updated. The podcast app got some updates, some new features. It's announced it does include a feature called automatically generating chapters option to see mentions of other podcasts from the transcript and the player, and access it in links mentioned in a podcast on an episode. I'm not a huge user of that. And then they've now made some updates to passwords. So there's a lot of stuff in here. I'm not going to go through all this. We'll review it as we go here. But that there's definitely some definite updates here when it comes to that. And also I want to mention Jeff's favorite topic. You know what it is, right? HomePod. They did release software 26.2 with performance improvements. They did release this week, and it's a month after 26.1, according to the release notes, and includes performance and stability improvements. And we know it can be automatically installed, and it can also be unless the feature is disabled, and you can do it from your iPhone, your iPad, or the Mac by tapping the More button and go to the Home settings. So, Jeff, I'm just waiting to know, what was your experience getting your HomePods up to date? They're still the same, right?
They're still the same. Yeah. I don't know what stability and performance improvements we're getting. Maybe they mean it's not going to be as wobbly on my shelf.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I'm not seeing anything that confirms to me there are improvements to HomePod performance.
I did see
Anybody else? Go ahead, Jill.
Yeah, I have a number of shortcuts. As I mentioned, my bird has a HomePod, and he gets a number of playlists. And when it swaps between playlists, there's a lull between it when it's kicking off a shortcut and pausing one sound and then starting a new one. And that one seems to have been faster now. Like, it used to lull for quite a bit, and now it's faster, which applicable to most people who aren't giving it to a canary. They, if they're listening to a music, it means it's going to start the music up sooner. So,
okay, Mike, do you have HomePods at all? I don't think you do. Do you?
I don't. Yeah. I was just thinking about buying one, though. We'll see what this little robotic HomePod-y thing that we're hearing might come out next year is, and maybe I'll ignore that one too. Oh, I'm sorry. Maybe I'll get that one. I don't know.
Well, our next reaction time. That's when we'll really know what the reaction will be.
We'll really know what's going on. Yeah.
Yeah. Chuck, you updated your iPad HomePods? Any trouble?
None whatsoever. And I do use my HomePods frequently. I have one.
Yeah, he uses them to keep doors propped open.
No, I don't.
Your doors don't stay open.
Nope, I have one in the bedroom and one in the one right here in the office. And come to think of it, there's one in the kitchen too. Let's make that 3. And they just do their thing. I feel bad. I don't know what Jeff said to them to make his so angry, but mine are fine.
It was Jeff.
It is. I am just a horrible, horrible person. So
it could have been one of a dozen things he said to it.
Right? It's like you were here, Jill.
Just stop asking.
It tells me what you say.
Inappropriate questions, and everything will be fine.
Yeah. Well, now we've got a problem.
Yes, I figured.
So I had been having some problems with the before the update. I've got 2 different networks, and if one network went down, all of the HomePods jumped onto the backup network, and then I was having problems convincing them they should go back to the normal network. After the update, it is a much, much, much smoother process.
Yeah, trying to change the network on a HomePod can be a real PETA. So anything that Apple does to make that an easier process, I'm good with it, because I've got 2 Wi-Fi networks here at the house also.
Okay.
The Home app seems to be able to go in and show you the spots, group them together, and then let you move a group of them. and the interface is a little bit better to indicate where they are and where they're going. And it's not so much you ask and then wonder. And it's more efficient.
Yep. Marty, anything you want to add before we move on here?
I have 2 iPods sitting behind me on the table that I think were last turned on in 2023.
I know you're not a music guy.
Well, it's also, my wife doesn't like a lot of extra noise in the house. She wants to be responsible for making the noise and it not coming out of a device. So I wind up listening to all my stuff through headphones.
Okay. All right. Well, still not happy with HomePod, at least not Jeff anyway. So they also did there are some other features coming here, but the one other thing was kind of interesting here. I wanted to talk about this real quick. Was in Australia. There's some Australia listeners here that the iPhone 12 users in Australia would have to upgrade to 26.2, and this is why. Apple says there's a technical failure in Australia preventing some older mobile phones from being able to make emergency calls by dialing 000. Apparently that's their 911, and said that there is a low chance that it could happen again. So it's in a rare event that this happens, and in exceptional circumstances affecting mobile operators networks. So it happen again. Older mobile phones may still encounter this. So basically, if you're in Australia, well, you should be updating anyway because it's a new update. You shouldn't be using the old ones anyway because there's security problems there. So all right. So now let's get to Mac. This in touch with Mac this week. Again, they did release 26.3 out now. I'm sorry, 26.2. We'll go with that first before we go to beta because that's the hot one. But there was some fixes there. But I'm sorry. Let's go to beta because I know. Did you try beta, Jeff? Or you're not on beta on Mac, right? You just upgraded to 26.2? So, because I want to get that the hot topic here this week.
Yeah, I don't run beta on my Mac.
Okay. So, how was your experience? I know we've been hearing you talking about Big Lake so much and how it has really been a miserable experience. How did the update do for you?
I am actually quite surprised that since I installed 26.2 on what day did it come out? On Friday, and here we are on Thursday. I have not rebooted my Mac, nor have I had to use my Core Audio reset script, and those were two of the biggest problems I was having. So if this continues to perform the way it has, my 2 biggest complaints, with macOS Big Lake may have been resolved with 26.2.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's super cool.
Yeah. So the biggest thing that was released in 26.3 was Edge Light. Has anybody tried that yet?
Yeah.
Because I did. I'm
about to turn it on for the first time.
Yeah. So I included our link to the support article from Apple as well as the article, and I was at work because I've been doing a lot more testing and installs of macOS on my work machines because we've got a new process in place for imaging new laptops, which I'm excited about, and We discovered this, and I hadn't read through this yet because I knew I would see this week. But it is a pretty darn cool. If you notice when you got the camera on, and it works. I tried it in Teams. Sorry, Chuck, but it did work surprisingly enough. And then it does work in Zoom as well. If you already just tried it, Jeff, it should be working in Zoom without a problem.
Yeah, I just turned it on again right now. I've been turning it on and off, and I'm not seeing any change. So I'm assuming that my camera is like I got to change the exposure so that everything stays right. I don't know.
Interestingly enough, the other features that are in here won't turn on with eCam. So Edge Light is working for me. Yeah, but I'm seeing the light difference when you do that.
No, I accidentally clicked Studio Light that time.
Oh, that's Studio Light. Okay. because I'm in Ecamm, it blocks it. But yeah, there are some other new features in the camera. If you notice that, you have portrait, you have studio lighting. The reactions is much easier to get to, especially easier to turn off. And they have some backgrounds. It actually has a transparent light blue, like a sky blue background. It actually doesn't look too bad. So they did add some little bit of enhancements in the camera when you're connecting with this. Have you tried this mic at all? It's just new for you?
I have not tried it because the only Mac I'm running 26 on is a spare one.
Oh, okay.
I'm not running it on my main Macs yet. So no, I've not had a chance to try it, but I do like all the camera tweaks that Apple's been adding, and the studio light is pretty interesting.
Yeah. And so it's so it was kind of one of their more cooler features that they've added, because I really haven't seen them add a lot of other stuff like this before. So I thought it was kind of cool. So a couple other things that they've added in 26.2s. Again, we talked about the podcasting with the chapters, the games. They have filters in the games library, so you're able to find by category, size, and more. Also has some bug fixes and improvements. The airdrop codes we talked about. The Apple News section links in the sidebar of the News app offers easier navigation for popular topics like sports, politics, business, and food. Tables in Freeform can now hold text, images, documents, and drawings. I know, Eric, you were just talking about using the Freeform on the Vision Pro. Is that have you been trying it on the Mac as well?
Yep, and on the iPad. And I really like the Tables edition.
Okay, that's good to know, because I hadn't been really trying. And anybody else here has been tried Freeform at all on their devices? I don't think so.
Some
super popular thing.
Here's the problem that I have with Freeform, and it's that I'll start doing a Freeform with someone, and we get enough information together where we're like, okay, we can roll with this, and then we just abandon it. Instead of continuing to flesh out the process in Freeform.
Okay.
I think that's probably a me problem.
Could be. So, yeah, that's about it. Nothing overly exciting of what came out. Same thing with beta. 26.3 beta is available on the Mac. I've got it running on my beta Mac Mini. Didn't really notice much. I don't know if anybody else, Marty. Have you noticed anything of you're running beta, or Jill?
No, nothing really.
So it's definitely going to be interesting to see where they go with that. So let's go in some other topics here. This hidden vehicle motion cue adjustments in iOS 26 has solved motion sickness issues. I know, Marty, you brought this article up. I found this rather interesting. So basically, what Apple did is they rolled out a vehicle motion cues. It helps with the kenosis. This writer and be more manageable, but it didn't fully fix it. But it does have some new adjustments, and it does work. So it's just motion sickness. It really helps the motion sickness by customizing the appearance, the color, the visibility. So this is kind of cool that they did this. What caught your eye on this? Do you get motion sickness, Marty?
I don't get motion sickness. I have a brother-in-law who suffers from it and insists he has to drive all the time, which, who knows? It could be that he suffers from it or he has control issues. But I do have a daughter that I heavily medicated while she was growing up, whenever she got into the car, because she had motion sickness. And we still travel together. And I sent her this article and she's like, oh man, I can't wait to try this out. And it's really interesting. Basically, it's giving you dots, very subtle, small dots along the frame, that as the car moves and your phone moves, you have some anchoring, so your visual system and your vestibular system can link up. So it kind of eliminates the differences between those two when you don't have those kind of anchors. So I think it's really cool. I think it's ingenious in terms of the way they decided to put this into devices.
Does Does anybody else have any experience with have any motion sickness problems or have tried this at all?
Yeah, my wife does. So I'm interested to try this because all she has to do when we travel long distance is text with her sister. And that just becomes a real nightmare.
Yeah.
Marty, I'll talk to you later about what drugs you use so that maybe I can try those on my wife.
Oh, with little kids, it's Benadryl. It's not,
okay.
You sound a little scratchy, kid. Maybe we should give you a little Benadryl before we go on that trip.
Knocks them out car like candy, honey.
Yeah, it knocks them out like a drunk at an Irish bar, and you can just kind of travel in quiet. I heavily recommend that.
Even the wrong podcast.
Yeah, exactly. No, you don't have any issues with that, Chuck? Or anybody that that would do this?
I've had some friends that have reported that they have it, and that this has definitely helped a lot. I personally don't have those kind of issues, so I can't speak to it. But they were really kind of skeptical. It's like, well, what could this possibly do? But at some point, it's like, well, it didn't cost anything to try it, so try it. And they were quite surprised that it did make quite a difference for them. So that's it's one of those friend of a friend things, but it still is positive feedback.
Okay. All right. Let's move on. I think it's hard to believe 5 years have gone by. Well, I should know how long this podcast has been, almost over 9 years, but the AirPods Max have launched 5 years ago. That was this past Monday as we record. It was marking the company's first push into the high-end over-the-ear headphone market under its own brand name. Rumors about Apple working on a pair of high-end headphones had believed to be called the AirPods Studio, heated up in 2020, but then it was announced abruptly via somewhat unexpected press release. Well, yeah, of course they're going to do a press release on a product like this on December 8th, 2020. So it's been 5 years. So it came out during the pandemic. So it was lots of people probably wanted to get a new pair of headphones since they were staying home all the time. So they're nice headphones. I bought a pair for my wife. She absolutely loves them. I never thought that would happen, and she does. But they are the Lightning version, so now they have a USB-C version. Not that matters, but it does have a little bit subtle differences as far as sound quality. But beyond that, no big deal. But anybody else here? I know Marty, you have a pair, right?
Yeah, I do. And it's weird because getting them and then using them on a plane. Great for playing, great for noise cancellation, but you have that kind of, or at least I have that kind of weird effect that I'm the only person wearing these big old blue earmuffs, and I don't want to draw attention to myself. And the same thing happens with Vision Pro when you go on a plane for the first time. You're really kind of self-conscious about putting the device on. So, I traveled with them for quite a bit, because they were effective. And then as AirPods got better in terms of noise cancellation, then there was less need for me to take them on planes because the AirPod, Pro 2s and 3s were really kind of knocking it out of the park and very easy to carry around.
Yeah.
My friend has a pair, and it's kind of the opposite of Marty's situation where her husband makes noise around the house and she wants it quiet. So she puts on these Macs and can be in her own little world, and she loves them. She absolutely adores them.
Yeah. So anybody else on the AirPods Max? No? Mike, I know you don't have a pair of those either, right?
I don't have the Max. I have the regular AirPods Pro.
Okay. Do you have the third AirPods 3 or 2?
Yeah.
1.
Oh, you have the 1. Okay.
I have the 1.
Someone in the chat has one too.
We're like AirPod Pros buddies.
Oh, that's there's some my lovely wife is in the chat there congratulating me on the 400 episode. Thank you.
That is super
she
sweet.
does. That is sweet. She came in the chat room and she's watching too. Yeah, she does. She really loves them, and I see her sitting and using them, watching her YouTube and enjoying having those headphones because they're nice and isolated. They sit nicely over your ears. So, it's
So I don't know if she wants her name said on the air.
Yeah,
so
that's fine. She's
hey,
in the chat,
Mrs.
Kathy.
G. Oh, you can't, Kathy. You're awesome.
Yeah. So that and the web in there said, "Double dog dare you to make a live appearance." She wanted to come in here too, but that's okay. Yes. So those are the AirPods.
Dave locked the door. Is what he's trying to say.
I should have
Got a
locked it behind
remote.
me there. No, I'm not doing that.
He has a remote for everything else, guys. So.
Yeah.
I can reach over. No.
Dave has everything within arm's reach, except right now, Kathy. So, get upstairs and get in that room.
Oh, Jeff. All right, let's go on and let's talk about her laughing down there too. So the Apple Sports app is now, I know Chuck is very excited about this, that it is now supporting the PGA Tour. And I don't know, I was checking to see if they had a placeholder for it yet. I don't know if you checked it, Chuck, but...
yeah, there's a placeholder in.
I don't see it because it's not here.
Oh, yeah. The tour is not active right now. The 2026 season starts up mid-January in Hawaii. So,
there it is.
Yeah, but so it makes sense. And I love the fact that it's there now and they're ready instead of just dropping it in. So frankly, it's about time. And I know Jeff is chomping at the bit to have one more sport in the sports app.
I've been staying up at night because I've been like, what we really, really need in the sports app is more sports because it's not sports enough. And then I was thinking, now that they're getting into full contact golf, I am so in. But the part that I'm concerned about is when they're doing this in the winter, how do you find your little white balls in the snow?
You hit orange ones.
You just color your balls.
Of course, Guy. You just
time to move on.
There's the face palm from Eric. Good job, Guy. Good job.
There.
I kid Chuck about golf, but sometimes I watch golf on television, if you want to call it that. I have to walk up and tap on the screen because I think maybe it's got stuck because there's nothing going on.
Wow.
Yeah, that's fair.
Wow.
Yeah, I used to play golf, so he's got look at Eric has his Sharpie markers. he can color the golf ball with the Sharpie markers. Oh my gosh, I think it's time to move on from this.
That could be painful.
Oh my gosh. There we go. Let's go move on to the news this week. There's a new Shazam feature. Anybody here? Do you guys use Shazam? I use it once in a while, and it's going to reveal probably one of the most popular moment of a song. So what they did was they came out and rolling out a new popular segments feature that will leave exactly which part of the song is the most popular with listeners. Now, for example, there's an image in this article, which I can show you, that any given song was most discovered around 30 to 35 seconds into the track during the preceding week. This was the moment that the song, the moment in the song where the most people had asked Shazam to identify the song. And then when it goes through a lot of the details with popular segments and spotlights, and Shazam says it's popular segments, it's going to provide listeners and artists with helpful insights to what makes the song resonate. It's kind of cool. I have not tried this yet. I don't know if anybody else here has tried that or not, or even uses Shazam that much. I mean, remember Shazam's one of the first apps I probably had on my iPhone years and years ago before Apple bought it.
I actually have it on my phone. On my watch.
Okay.
There's a shortcut for it there, and which makes it real easy instead of having to drag out the phone. And then, if it's not on the home page and all the rest of that, I just tap my watch and it lets me know whatever the hell the song is.
Yeah.
There's one song. I was just say there was one song from the late 80s that I never learned the name of and I never learned the artist. And I have the button right there in case that song ever comes on. It came on once in my life and I'm waiting.
So it was a popular band.
I
Wow.
think it's Oingo Boingo, to be honest, but I don't.
Now it's killing me. I want to know what it is because I'm pretty good at identifying songs.
Yeah. Do you remember any of the lyrics?
Yeah.
Sing it
la,
for
la,
us.
la, la, la.
It sounds like Oingo Boingo, and it has like a regular song part, and then it has this bridge part where it goes super fast, and it's and I just don't know. I don't know what.
Oh,
it
that
is.
helps.
Yeah, I know it's really terrible.
That narrows it down.
Yeah, it's yeah.
Have Shazam at the ready, like
I'm ready.
Like,
I'm
Guy
ready.
said, put it. Have it on your watch, ready to go.
I
Go ahead, Chuck.
Fumbling for the button, because for me it'll be like I'm out in a public space, I hear a song, and then have to hold my phone way up in the air to try and get close to the speakers, and when you say, "Hey, S lady, what's this song?" It's actually using Shazam, so you don't have to hit any buttons. Just tell the S lady, and as long as you don't have a dysfunctional relationship with it, then you'll know what the song is.
All right, Chuck. Now it's your turn. Go ahead, Chuck.
Says the man with the dysfunctional relationship.
Well, I felt that the disclaimer was critical.
When I saw this, is this the point where we have completely jumped the shark on just too much information, that we're analyzing what part of a 2 to 4 minute song is the best, most popular, whatever? I mean, unless we're talking about a guitar solo or an instrument solo of some kind, it's like, why is, okay, this just felt completely like feature bloat.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I don't want to take us too far down here, but at some point, it's like this feels like this is a Microsoft thing.
Yeah, I agree with you, Chuck. The favorite part of my song, whenever I'm listening to a song, is the part where I don't turn it off. That's all the data I need.
Yeah, that's well said, Marty. And I know you're being flipped, but that's true. In the old days, and most of us here can remember them, if the song came on the radio, and that was sort of how you measured whether you liked it or not, whether you hit the button and went to another station.
Yeah.
All right,
I
Chuck,
grew up
I
in
have
a
a
place with
hypothesis.
one
Go
station.
ahead, Joe.
I was just saying, I grew up in a place with one station, so we couldn't change the channel.
Oh, well, that's a problem.
Okay. That is a problem.
Turning
Chuck,
it on.
I have a hypothesis for you.
Provide us with your hypothesis, please.
My hypothesis is that that this is information Shazam has been able to collect for a very long time, and they have tons and tons of information. And on the behind the scenes side, it's really useful for artists and producers and labels and advertisers. And since they've already got this stuff and they've been using it internally for a long time, why not expose it to the public, and then it just becomes something that helps set Shazam apart from other music identification services.
Yeah,
Jeff, the only thing that I don't have a hypothesis back. I'll just respond to that, and that just tells me that it's more and more things are being manufactured for us. There's no artistic aspect to it at all. It's just, oh, okay, this beat, this instrument, this. It just that to me feels like what's been happening with the industry, is it just is more manufactured stuff. Auto-tune's a perfect example. It's a radical example, but it's a perfect example.
Mm-hmm.
And so if that's what is happening here, yeah, it's no wonder I don't like so much of the more popular recent music or recent pop.
I can't argue that on any point, and I will even throw a little validation your way. Look at everything that's happening with Spotify and their internally produced, in many cases, AI generated music, where it's formulaic, and then also has for them the bonus of now they don't have to pay artists. But yeah, it's about numbers, it's about formulas, and it's about squeezing every little bit of money out of us that they possibly can.
Yeah.
See, I kind of like this feature, except that I spent, 20 minutes thinking about it, thinking, if the most popular moment of the song is in like the first 15, 20 seconds. All right, I can believe that. But how many of these songs are identified like near the end of the song, a minute in, 2 minutes in? They're all of the people that spent time looking through their phone, searching for Shazam, calling it up, trying to figure out how to hit the tell me what the song is button. There has to be, I was all lost in the bad data from the people who couldn't find Shazam moments. And somewhere there's a story, I'm sure.
I mean, that's me. I was like, I walk around and I go, gosh, I wonder what that song is. And then I think, oh, wait, you have an app. Oh, let's go find it, and then I don't think about it.
And then it's a race to get it identified before the song actually ends.
Yeah. And you can clearly hear it in a restaurant, but for some reason your phone can't.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Do you have something to add, Mike?
Only my hypothesis, and Marty might be able to relate to this, is that there aren't many people at Shazam who are prog rock fans. You are not even getting started with the song about 35 seconds into it. I mean, you got to go a good 2, 3, 4 minutes before you get into a good prog rock song. And that 2 or 3 minute song that Chuck was talking about doesn't happen either. We're talking 6, 7, 10-minute songs. So, Shazam.
Yeah, and what's the best part of a Frank Zappa song? Every part.
Every part.
This is where Meatloaf really shines, because he has a 17-minute song. So you have plenty of time to get your Shazam up and going and before you figure out.
That's right.
Yeah. But I know Absolutely. That Shazam did recognize some Spock's Beard songs, if you know who they are.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Wow.
And
Spock's Beard.
Spock's Beard, yeah, great group. So that's surprising.
I have not heard them.
If you like progressive rock, you'd like Spock's Beard.
Yeah.
I do. I've been listening. I was a big fan of Supertramp, and that's more prog rock. And then Rick Davies just passed away not too long ago. So I've been going back listening to those albums again, and I just, oh my God, this is just great music they did. But that's a whole nother topic of a story here, not related to Apple, but it is, because we all have love in music, and that's one of the bands I like. But sadly, they're not together anymore, and of course, Rick passed away. So, but their music lives on. Let's go ahead and move on here. AirPods. We were talking about AirPods earlier here. AirPods 3 static and noise issues. They have not been resolved. I've never had any problems. I don't know about you guys. Since the AirPods 3 launched, they've had complaints from users that they noticed a static-like sound crack, or a crackling issue when using the earbuds, particularly when active noise cancellation is on, but no media is playing. Users have also run into some strange high-pitched whistling sounds. I've heard that. I've heard a little bit of the whistling sounds with the 3, but not to a point where it's like I was like worried about it. But they shared the issues back in late October, and despite 2 subsequent firmware upgrades, problems have not been solved. So definitely some feedback from users are installing the firmware upgrades indicate that there's noise issues have been not addressed. So I guess it sounds isolated, because Apple would definitely be addressing this quickly if there was a big problem. But then again, who knows? I mean, I don't know. Then maybe not Apple. Maybe Apple is ignoring it until it gets to be such a problem that. And go ahead, Mike. You have thoughts?
Only that my AirPods Pro 1 still have that problem all these years later. So I don't have any confidence that if this is an issue with the AirPods Pro 3s, that Apple's going to fix it. But maybe my AirPods buddy would have any other thoughts on that.
I always have thoughts, Mike. I have a set of first-gen AirPods Pro. I could probably reach them from here. They're in a desk drawer that have the crackling issue.
They have all 3 of them in my drawer.
Yeah, and so Apple did replace those, and they had the crackling problem, and they're like, "Oh yeah, you have the crackling problem."
Yeah, I remember that.
You just
I had
can buy
mine
new ones
replaced.
now.
Yep.
And so my feeling is, why should I spend money on AirPods Pro 3 when I have perfectly crackly AirPods Pro 1? I don't need to pay for fresh cracklies.
Yep.
But also, this is why, Dave, I bought your old AirPods off of you all those years ago.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
and
remember
those
that.
work. But yeah, I have no confidence that Apple is going to fix the problem. And Chuck, for your benefit, I fully expect at some point there will be a class action lawsuit about AirPods Pro 3 crackly.
There was with the one, so
I feel like everything
made
that
them-
bad can happen happens to Jeff.
Yeah.
That's
No,
called
I'm just
karma.
vocal about the few things that do go wrong.
Okay.
You know, I told this before, and most of you might know this. I have really bad tinnitus, and that comes from going to too many prog rock concerts and Rush, and taking those ticket winners to the concerts back in the day. And the only time I get relief is when I turn on noise cancellation on my headphones or on my AirPods and don't have any music playing. So I have completely opposite of the problem that's here. And I don't know what's going on audit, with my ears that happens, or that somehow it cancels out whatever I've got in terms of tinnitus. But yeah, this surprises me.
Yeah. Anybody else on the AirPods?
No crackles.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not me. I got the 3s. I have the 2s in the drawer, and the 1s actually, because I had a second pair of 1s, they were toast. I couldn't even get them to connect. It was just, they were so bad. So they got old, but you're right. I agree with you. It's kind of crappy. You're spending close to $200 for a pair of AirPods. You expect them to last for at least a few years.
Mm-hmm.
For daily wear, I generally use bone conduction headphones, and when I'm doing podcasts, it's bone conduction. I put the AirPods in when I travel, basically, and that's where they serve the best purpose for me.
Absolutely, because it gets that noise out. So, all right, a couple more stories here before we wrap up. Google has rolled out a Gemini AI for Chrome on iPhone and iPad. They have rolled this out with Gemini integration for its Chrome browser, at a move that brings AI feature parity with its web and desktop versions. The company's based has teased built-in Gemini in Chrome for iOS in September, but then the feature now is rolled out gradually across the United States. For Gemini to work in Chrome, you'll need version 143. When you're updated, make sure that you sign into your account and the browser language set to English, and the app isn't in incognito mode. So the Gemini interface includes shortcuts to do things like summarize in the current on the current web page, or create an FAQ about a topic, and other sample queries, including Gemini to reframe and complex topics in alternate ways. So interesting to see that. I think Gemini is really making a head here with Gemini. I think they're pretty much top number 2 on the top list, just behind ChatGPT and then the far distant Copilot. What do you think, Jeff?
I think you're right about the rankings of the AI platforms. My problem is each company, they're building their own AI platform and then forcing it on you through their web browser. I do not want any web browser to, by default, just be like, "Hey, I'm your AI tool now," and then I have to sit there and go through tons of settings to hopefully actually disable that feature. I get why they're doing it, because this is about making money. It's not really about helping us. So I'm disappointed that Google has done this, but I'm not surprised. And kicking open the hole for the rabbit hole that I'm not going to jump in right now. This is exactly why so many people are now suddenly really, really disappointed with Firefox. because they decided, hey, we're going to do the same thing.
Yeah.
And that was like a last refuge for a lot of people.
I was going to get to you, Mike, because I was thinking about Firefox.
They are, well, yes, I agree, Jeff, but they are promising that it will be easy to disable, that it'll be opt-in. So we'll see.
That's better than, like with Chrome.
Yeah.
It's you do an update and the app re-enables it. And then you have to go through multiple settings to turn. Yeah.
It's always buried in the Chrome settings. Yeah.
A lot of times that's why they do those updates, is to put some of the stuff on that you may have optioned out of, and then you have to either go and search for it or eventually just give up and say, okay, I'll just deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I'm not sure. Why is everyone else out to get me?
Are they going to make more money on AI than they do on searches? Stealing your search data versus you're stealing your AI?
How much money are they actually making with AI at this point? I mean, we've seen lots of people pouring money into it, but I'm not sure that there's a solid case for saying that people are making a profit off of it yet.
There are places where companies are making a profit off of AI, but I don't think it's in the public-facing market. It's the behind-the-scenes stuff, the enterprise-level things, the stuff that's assisting, like with pharmaceutical research or cloud security, stuff like that. But that's a totally different thing.
Yeah.
I think they're making a ton of money on search, but aren't they making money on AI? So forcing it on you probably is a loss for them. I don't know. I'm just guessing. Go ahead.
For a company like Google, I think that this is a necessary thing for them, because more and more people are doing their internet searches through generative AI tools like ChatGPT or Perplexity, whatever. Right. So Google needs to lean heavy into that so that they stay the leading online search platform.
Yeah.
Right, it might be that I have become screen numb from pop-ups, but the AI agents tied with browsers in particular used to me seem to really be nagware. Copilot was a big one for me, that anytime I opened anything in Microsoft, it was like that neighbor that just keeps coming over that you don't want to see that often. It keeps asking you, do you want to use me? Please use me. And it's like, no, I don't want to use you, and I want you to stop coming over. And maybe that's happening less, or the fact that I'm looking at a Chrome browser right now and I see a little Gemini button up in the upper right-hand corner, and it's, if I need it, I go there. But typically I have kind of decided this is what I can use browsers for search. And when I'm doing projects and when I'm utilizing LLMs, I'm going directly to the app or going to something that's on my device only, where I can run those kinds of queries. If you're getting the same sense that I am, that they've kind of pulled back on that nagware, that for me is a plus.
Marty, first of all, we've all lived through the advent of search. And so we're looking at it that way, because I agree with you. I kind of used it the very same way. I heard something on a podcast a week or two ago, and I'd love to give credit, and I don't always file exactly who said what away as I should. But search used to be just that. We were searching for something. Now we want answers. Mm-hmm. And the LLMs are giving you answers. Now, whether they're good answers or bad answers, that's a whole other discussion. But they're giving you answers, as opposed to saying, well, look on this page or look on that site. And that observation, I think, really struck me, because that's exactly if I'm just looking for something in general, I'll use Google. But if I want an answer to something, I'm going to ChatGPT.
Chuck, I think it's that idea that, and you might have even said it on your own show and forgotten it, that you do a search, you get 2 pages of of links that you then have to comb through to find out which is going to give you the answer versus using an LLM or an engine. You can direct it, and if you do it right, get pretty good data back on the answer to the question that you have.
And if I do the prompt right, it will give me the citation so that if I have any doubt, I can then go back to that page and check it. So yeah, I mean, Dave knows better than to ask me about Copilot, but I guess I'm looking at the LLMs in general, and I feel like it has become table stakes at this point, and it's just a matter of how good your offering is. But if you don't have it as a search company, then you're behind the eight ball.
Yeah. Anybody else on this? All right. So before we go, we have my Potter here. I want to talk a little bit about MacStock. It's coming up next year soon. I've been promoting that wonderful virtual pass that you've got for MacStock 9, and I would want to know if there's anything you can tell us about what's going on for MacStock 10 next year.
No.
I didn't think so.
No comment. No. Thank you for promoting the digital pass. The only thing I will add to that is that all of the digital passes, except for MacStock 9 2025s, are on sale right now for $25. And the whole reason for doing that is because I'm going to take them away. They're going away. They're going away in early 2026. So I put them on sale so that anybody who wants to fill in their back library of digital passes can do so at a cut rate price before they disappear in January. So thank you for mentioning those. But yeah, the 2025 digital pass is still out there too. And the only other thing I will mention is that we're looking for presenters. I just put out the first call for presenters a week ago, something like that. And if anybody is interested in presenting at MacStock in 2026, just go to speakatmacstock.com. Speakatmacstock.com. That will take you directly to the page that you need to be to submit your talk idea and get it in, because I'm always looking for new voices. We got a lot of great people who present year after year after year, and I'm gonna bring them back again this year. But we're also looking for a few new voices too. So submit your ideas. I'd love to hear them.
Great. Oh yeah, can't wait. I was so anxious. I got my talk already submitted. So
you did,
Chuck. I think you could probably do a good presentation.
Yeah, you might be able to.
Maybe. We'll see.
It could happen. Yeah. I mean, I know it's a new thing for you, Chuck.
Yeah.
Public speaking, yes.
Public speaking.
Yeah, that thing.
Yeah.
Being behind a microphone.
Going to conferences. You and I teamed up on one, Jeff, if I remember correctly.
I do
We have
remember
teamed
that
up more than once, Chuck.
Yeah, and that was the last time I presented, I think. And that
2024.
may have had something to do with it.
I see what you're saying.
It took you a little while.
So Mike, either you're welcome or I'm sorry.
Or both. Or
both.
Yeah.
There you go.
Craig just said that in the chat. Got 8 presenters right here.
Jeff, you keep scaring those presenters away.
It's just because it's us, and no one will say anything. Mike gives me $20 every time I scare off a presenter he doesn't like.
I got mine in before all the scares.
Is that all it costs?
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. All right, I think it's time to wrap up.
Kidding.
All right. I know you are. Thanks everybody for being here and celebrating 400 episodes. What a great run it's been. It's going to keep going. We'll go for as long as we can go and keep enjoying it. And I got such a great great cast of panelists here that just make the show look great, and we really enjoy doing it. So, but for now, let's go ahead and wrap up for this week. We're going to find out where everybody can find you. Mike, I'm going to start off with you this time. I'm going to reverse around. Where can people find you? Thanks for being here.
Well, thanks, Dave. And again, congratulations on 400 episodes. That's just fantastic, and I'm so honored you invited me to be here today. Folks can find me at formacisonly.com. And that's our podcast. We do record live as well on the second and fourth Saturday every month. And of course, you'll also find me at max.conferenceandexpo.com. So thanks, Dave. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Thanks. We appreciate it. Guy Serle, thank you for being here. And I always have a pleasure having you here this week. And you should go back and listen to episode 9. You'll get a chuckle.
I'm going to have to go back and find that one.
It's in our show notes, so you can do it.
My 65-year-old brain doesn't quite fathom these things anymore. I really appreciate you having me on, Dave. If people want to hear more of my happy nonsense, you can listen to the G-Men Show or the G-Men Podcast at the podcast aggregator of your choice. I have also finally managed to get out a second episode of Tales from the AI Verse. It's called Feast for the Foolish. There's also Guy's Daily Drive, which is now pretty much an archive of shows I did going all the way back to 2018. If you'd like to send us some information about yourself, we like feedback, we like bumpers. We have bumpers that are happening right at the beginning of the show. You can send them to gmenshow@icloud.com. And of course, Mac Parrot and Vert Shark over there on Twaxter and Skies of Blue.
All right. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Jeff Gamet, thank you for being here, and appreciate it and being part of this great celebration. Where can people find you?
Well, again, congratulations. 400 is a huge milestone. So many people in the podcasting community don't even get close to that. So that's an awesome accomplishment. And
thanks.
And I'm really happy that I got to be a small part of this. And I guess get to be, assuming you let me come back next week.
It's always a question.
But okay, so where people can find me, J Gamet on the social medias, most active right now on Mastodon, PixelFed, and BlueSky. Also for the month of December on Instagram, because I know that's where a lot of people look to see my Lego Advent Calendar photos. And then for shows, Chuck lets me join in on Mac Voices Live on Tuesdays. Dave, you let me join in here for In Touch with iOS on Thursdays. Thank you to both of you for that. For the British Tech Network, The Big Show, and The Mac Show, Brian Chaffin and I do The Context Machine, and Patrice Brendamore and I do Retro Rewatch.
Thank you so much, Jeff. And Chuck Joyner, thank you for being here and celebrating with me and everybody here at the 400. I appreciate it. Where can people find you?
Find me over at macvoices.com. That's where we talk to lots of interesting people. By the time this week ends, as we record this, we will have released the last of our holiday gift guide shows. So there's still time to watch those and maybe do a little shopping. And then we get back to some of our regular content just in time for CES. On the socials, you can find me as at Chuck Joyner. And Dave, I don't know, I'd have to do a little calculating, but I expect to be back here in a few years to celebrate number 800.
All right. Maybe 500, but definitely 800. Thank you. Appreciate it. And Eric Bolden, thank you for being here. I'm so glad you're part of our regular crew here. We always love having you and being part of this celebration. Where can people find you?
Oh, it's a lot of fun. Congratulations on the 400. It seems like so many.
It does.
But, fun, certainly. I can be found on Mastodon at EA Bolden at mas.to with all of the bird pictures. Otherwise, Mondays on Vision Profiles. Tuesdays on Mac Voices. And, of course, here on Thursdays and In Touch with iOS.
Great. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it. And Marty Jencius, thank you for being here. I appreciate it and being part of this celebration. Where can people find you?
Yeah, the big news is 400 shows is just remarkable. And I know we've got a lot of podcasters who are on this panel tonight, and I know that feeling. It's like, okay, I got to do another show. How am I going to get through it? And then like magic happens. And I think that's the fun part of it. And so you've had 400 episodes of magic, and that's a great piece for you. For me, you can find me at Jencius at Mastodon.social or Jencius at BlueSky. And Monday nights, Vision Profiles, Tuesdays with Chuck on Mac Voices, Thursdays with Dave on In Touch with iOS, the Mac Show on Friday mornings, and then I do a whole slew of shows that you can find besides Vision Profiles that you can find on the Pod Talk network.
All right. Ooh, got the mug.
And so go to thepodtalk.net.
Thanks so much. Appreciate it, Marty. And Jill McKinley, thank you for being here and being part of this and being part of our regular panelist. I appreciate it. Where can people find you?
Well, thanks again, and congratulations on 400 people. I find it hard enough to wrangle myself, much less wrangling other people. So that is quite the accomplishment of being able to get interesting people on and good conversation. So congratulations. You can just find me, jillfromthenorthwoods.com. That's where you can find all my podcasts and how to contact me.
All right, that's simple enough. Thank you, I appreciate it. And just all right, let's with that, let's go ahead and wrap up for this week. That's a wrap for this week. Please, you're sending your comments, questions, suggestions to our email address, which is feedback@intouchwithios.com. You can follow us on BlueSky and Mastodon at In Touch with iOS. Support the show. Buy me a coffee at intouchwithios.com/coffee. We'd really appreciate it. You can become a patron of the show by going to patreon.com/intouchwithios. We have 2 tiers available to support the show. We'd really appreciate it. And let's make sure you like, share, and subscribe so you are notified when we're live streaming, which is Thursday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific on our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/intouchwithios. It was great to see Webb. And Craig, thank you for the congrats on the milestone 400. Appreciate it. And we had Brian, and we had a number of others in the chat. That was great to see you. You can hang out with us and chat with us while we're doing the show. And you can go to the YouTube channel, be able to watch the stream live, as well as keep it up there recorded. And you can also listen to past shows. So you can subscribe to our podcast in your favorite podcatcher, including Apple Podcasts, Pocket Casts, Overcast, and many others. Better yet, just go to our website at intouchwithios.com, where all the ways to listen to us are there. I'm Dave Ginsburg. You can find me at these various podcasts, which would be Vision Profiles on Monday nights with Marty and Eric, Tuesday nights on Mac Voices Live, Thursdays here, and then on Fridays on the Mac Show on the British Tech Network. So you also find me on social media, which is at BlueSky and Mastodon at DaveG65. So that's it. Thanks so much for being here. What a great show. We'll do another 400. Let's hope. But until then, thanks again for listening, watching, and we'll talk again soon.